I use AI every day in my business to automate tasks and processes which buy me back my time and make me money. Up until now, I've kind of loosely tracked time saved, but this week I got really serious. I decided to run this experiment for a few weeks where I'm going to show you the time it would have taken me to do the task and the time it actually took me using AI or having AI do it autonomously and exactly what was done. I will show you the receipts. I don't know if you're actually interested in seeing this or not. If you are, drop a comment below, but I'm going to do it for a few weeks and see what happens and see what the response is. Most of my clients and students aren't particularly excited about AI. I think actually they're a little bit scared of it, scared that it's going to sound nothing like them, scared that they're going to look stupid asking it something basic, scared that everyone else already gets it and they kind of miss the memo. But my hope is that this experiment will inspire you to find creative ways to help you buy back your time as well, and maybe take some of the fear out of it for you. This experiment isn't so much about learning AI, it's about noticing which parts of your week that you could get back so you can have some work life balance or spend that time on higher value tasks that are actually going to make you money. If you'd like to figure out which tasks you could be automating, I've got a free AI opportunity scorecard linked in the description below, no email required. It's actually something that I built with AI. So without further ado, I'm going to do a screen share and I'm going to show you how my week looked. So today is Friday, August 7th. So I started tracking on the 3rd. So that's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 5 days ago. I actually started actively tracking. And actually what I'm doing is getting AI to do the tracking as we're having our conversations, and I'm getting it to do things on my behalf, and I'm working with it. So this week, I know this sounds unbelievable. I can't even believe it myself. I saved 46 hours and 55 minutes. So almost 47 hours. Now, realistically, I never would have gotten half of these things done previously. The only reason that I was able to basically buy back 46 hours of my time is because of AI. So here over here, what you're going to see is my different categories that I'm working with right now. And so this is what it would have taken me before AI. Here's what it actually took. So before, it would have taken 51 hours and 25 minutes to do these things that I'm showing you that I did. What it actually took is 4 hours and 30 minutes of my actual time to do these things. So that's almost 47 hours saved, which is insane to think about. But you can also see kind of the breakdown here of, before lead gen and sales, which, let's be honest, I didn't get around to a lot of the time because there just wasn't time in a day. So a lot of these things lapsed or I didn't actively work on them. So now that I have this tool or this set of tools that I can use, I'm able to get way more done in the time and way more high value tasks that I wouldn't have been able to get to previously. So that's it. This would have taken me, what I'm about to show you would have taken me 51 hours and 25 minutes back then. It actually took 4 hours and 30 minutes. So that gave me a ton of time last week to be able to work on things like projects that I want to get to, or lead gen and sales that I wanted to get to, or creating community resources or lead magnets or whatever it was. I got a ton done. I felt like it was such a productive week, and now I can see why. So let's scroll down here. And by the way, this is an artifact that Claude actually created for me, and it's keeping it up for me as well. So this will always be up to date. Okay, so there's two tabs here. One is problem solved, and the other one is what I dropped in the community, because I like to keep track of both. And so let's start with the problem solved. So this particular problem was, I have 116 videos on my YouTube channel and not a repository that I can pull from if I wanted to share one with a specific person or point a person to a specific YouTube video. I needed some place that was all amalgamated and kept up to date all the time. Listen, I have done it over the years, but it always gets out of date because it's just not one of those high value tasks that I want to spend my time on. So this literally took me zero time. This was a prompt. Now, okay, let's be realistic. This maybe took me 10 minutes between the prompting and following what Claude asked me to put somewhere to make all of this happen. So let's have a look at what I'm talking about. So if I click on the video library, this is something that I've now been able to drop into my community, which is all of my YouTube videos all the way back to 2017, all with thumbnails, all with a description or a summary, linked to the resources that they can get in the community for this, a link to watch it on YouTube, a length, how long it is. That way, if you've got 5 minutes, maybe you want to go to one of the ones that's under 5 minutes. So this was a major thing. I know it looks like it's nothing, but the fact that it keeps itself updated, that I don't have to do anything with it, that now all of my community members can refer to this at any point, that I could send this off to someone if I wanted it or wanted to, because it's a shared Google sheet that is kept in my Google Drive. I think it's brilliant and I'm super excited about it. And my community members have actually asked me if I can show them how to do this. So I'm going to create a skill for them to be able to do this for themselves as well, which is, I love being able to repurpose in that way. Okay, so I'm going to close this and we'll go back to, so that was basically this. Where's that video again? It saved me like 5 hours. If I'd had to do that by myself, it would have taken me a long time to gather all those resources. And let's face it, it wouldn't have stayed up to date. This way it stays totally up to date. I'm completely hands off. All right, let's go on to the next one here. So Facebook ads are something I have never done. I think I spent $100 on ads in 25 years of running this business. But I want to dip my feet in. And yes, I could hire an ad agency if I wanted to, but I am the kind of person who likes to at least understand the basics of something before I hire it out. So Claude actually went, now that there is a Meta connector for Claude, it actually went, did all the research it needed to do, got all the resources it needed, and fully set up my ad account properly. Now, I've got my pixels on my website and so on that I've been doing for years, but I've never done anything with them. So this was huge. I mean, this would have taken hours and hours of learning for me to even get to this point where it's all set up properly and ready to start running campaigns. So this was a huge one for me. Episode 2. So I'm running a 13-part series on setting up your Thinkific site start to finish. And so I'm a big proponent of repurposing things instead of just using it once. So I am getting better and better, and I am working with it to create this very, very effective system for everything from I have a video idea, or I need to create a video, all the way to the republishing of it. And so this week we got actually even more clear. I've integrated with another few tools that actually do the social media posting for me. I've integrated Whisper into my Claude, which allows it to transcribe the video. The whole thing is just getting so effective and efficient. And I'm so excited about it, because this is one of the things that as business owners, it's, unless you love creating content, I love creating long form video. I'm not a fan of shorts. I don't love doing it. And I also know that I don't post just to post. There needs to be a purpose and a goal and everything. Anyways, this is part of what we did. So this would have taken me, I don't know, hours and hours and hours previously. And we are getting that down to a very 30-minute time slot for each video, which is phenomenal. Okay, moving on, the voltage collection. So I have templates, Thinkific landing page templates that I sell through my website. But all of these have to be created. And I'm thinking about Black Friday, because you should start prepping for it long in advance. And so I wanted to make sure that I at least had got one of my Black Friday template collections out. And so I got one up. So let's see here. This would have taken me, I'm not kidding you, it can take up to 8 hours to build out a fully fleshed out Thinkific page, course sales page, homepage, etc., with the tools that used to be available. Now I can do it in very little time, because I've trained my AI and I work with it to continue to train it so that we can churn these out faster. So this is the voltage collection that just got launched, and that includes the demo page that I've created for it. So this is the demo page. You can go to my website, you can click around. And so if you wanted a homepage takeover for your Black Friday sale, there's this template available, so that just on that weekend, you can swap this out. So anyways, got that out. That was a big deal. I've got 2 more. But again, every time, every day, every time I work with it on a task or a process or a system or a playbook, we just get better at working together. Clicks. Oh yeah, so I did some analytic stuff this weekend, and I couldn't tell which videos were actually sending people, which of my YouTube videos were actually sending people to my website, and then what they were doing once they got there. So Microsoft Clarity has a integration, a connector with Claude. So we got that all set up. We got all the proper tracking set up, all my UTM parameters. So I have these links now that not me, Sloan, who's my COO, Claude, will actually be able to put this into her analytics dump when she does that weekly for me, so that I have much better data. So I can tell, is it that the ad's not converting? Is it the page isn't converting? What's wrong in this funnel? And so I have the tools and the analytics now to be able to do that. That again would have taken hours. Okay, next one, motion graphics B-roll. This one I was completely blown away by. So in every YouTube video that you do, depending on your niche and what you're doing, generally you've got some B-roll in there. You've got some images, other videos, maybe some motion on the screen, etc. Well, before this, that was all being created by me or by one of my team members. Now AI is creating it for me. So I wanted to show you just an example. This was for my 13-part series that I'm doing, that Thinkific setup series I was telling you about. So it actually created the B-roll videos that now I can add to my actual videos when they're being edited. So I'm just going to pull up one here. They don't have any sound or anything. They're basically just to replace my screen, so that this is the motion graphic that comes out. So it made one for telling people to watch in order, and then there's one for each of the series videos. So this one went on episode 1. So episode 1 is actually highlighted, and the other ones are kind of grayed out. Now, if we look at episode 2, B-roll, you can see that episode 1 is grayed out and episode 2 is in the forefront. This is crazy exciting to me. So this is the first time that I've been able to actually create B-roll motion graphics with Claude without me actually doing it. Phenomenal. Okay. Now I got an ADHD brain, and when I get in the mood to film a video, I just film a video and do a quick edit and get it out. But sometimes that meant that it was midnight, because I just wanted to get it out, because I was excited to get it out, or I just wanted it off my plate or whatever. But obviously that's not helping me in my growth, right? So we did some deep dive into analytics, my own and competitors, to figure out when the absolute best time of the day, and like we are very, very precise with when videos are going to be published from now on based on my audience. And yes, some of that is in YouTube, but there was more to it than that. So we put a bunch of analytics together and came up with an exact time and exact dates for me to publish these, which is great, because then I'm on a bit of a schedule and I have some accountability. So that was huge to not have to do that research by myself. Legal pages. Oh yeah. So for episode 2 in that 13-part series I was telling you about, there are privacy policies and terms of use that you need to put on your site. And so we actually created a skill, Claude and I, to interview the community member who's able to download this and use it. And it helps them create their privacy policy and terms of use. And it also gives them a lawyer checklist. So when you do this exercise and you get your privacy policy and your terms of use, you also get sort of like, here's the questions that you need to ask your notary or your lawyer or your legal, whoever you're using for legal, just to make sure you're covered. So that was super fun and interesting. And I'll show you over in the community what that is. One price. Oh yeah, this was huge. So I wanted to change my pricing on something, but of course, I might have pricing in my email. I might have pricing on a sales page. I might have pricing in the footer of my email signature. Where I had those was all over the place. So I got it to do all of the gathering for me, and it figured out that pricing was in 18 different places, and then it told me exactly where it was, and then I went and fixed them. So this took me no time at all to do, and it would have probably, again, taken me hours to go out and try and remember where that pricing was. So now every time I change a price, this is already built in. This is a skill now that I have built for myself or for Sloan, so that every time we need to do a pricing change, she knows exactly where it needs to be changed and she can go do it. All right. Logo. Yeah, this wasn't a big deal, but it's like one of those things that just kind of weighs on your mind and you think, I'll get to it someday. I got to it. Took me 2 minutes. So on my website, so I use WordPress and I use Divi. I built my own website. I maintain my own website. But this was really bugging me. This logo. Now I'm not a fan of like put your logo big and in front of everyone because it's prime real estate up here. This is the hero section. And we don't want to clutter it with, woo, look at me. Like I just wanted it a little bit bigger because this logo here, because it was the same size basically as the menu. And I didn't want that. So I just wanted this slightly bigger, but I knew it was going to have CSS. I had no idea where to put it. I'm not a developer. And so I just asked Claude. It gave me the CSS, told me where to put it. And voila, 2 minutes later, my logo was slightly bigger. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's one of those things that kind of like has been taking up brain space for me. And I don't want it to take up any more brain space. So I got to cross that off the list. This was a huge one. So we do all kinds of projects for clients. And the quoting process is quite intense. It has to be very, very accurate. You have to really be on. And I have automated pieces of it in the last 3 years, but I have never been able to really nail down the quoting process as being primarily automated. I did that last week. So this is one of those high value tasks that, before may have taken me an hour to quote out because every job is slightly different. There's anomalies, things I need to think through in regards to the client's needs and all of those things. So I now have an extremely effective automated system for quoting clients. Now, there is still a human in the loop, meaning I would never send a quote to a client without me fully reviewing it first. However, because I use a transcription tool inside my discovery calls with my clients, that transcription from that discovery call is now absorbed into the process, reviewed along with all past notes that we have, all the information about the client. And again, there's no privacy breach here because I use Claude Code. So all it's doing is working with my project management system, my files. There's nothing external. There's no a breach in privacy here. There's no client information that's going out into the ether. It's all internal. And so this has drastically reduced. I mean, if I do 3 quotes in a week, that's 3 hours of my time. Now it's 5 minutes per quote, and then it might take me 5 or 10 minutes to review it, and then I can get it off. It also means I can get quotes off quicker, as opposed to clients maybe waiting 24 or 48 hours to get a quote from me. So this was huge. This was a big deal. No more duplicate videos in my calendar. Yeah, so I have this content calendar in my project management system, which is ClickUp is the one I use. And it was filling out like it was just so full and bloated. And that's because there was a ton of duplicates in there. So it basically amalgamated all of the content ideas that I have and started to filter through for which ones are ones that we should focus on, which ones we shouldn't. This filtering ability of it to make sure that there's no duplicates as we move forward. That was huge, saved me a ton of time. So those are all of the tasks that I automated this week. Now, as far as what I dropped into my community, there was, I think, 3 things in here. So I sell this floating testimonial widget builder for $99. Well, my community members are going to get it for free now. So we've been able to, there was a few things that were in the video that needed to be updated. And so we were able to do that. So now we've got this floating testimonial widget that they can install on their site. And it's kind of like one of those Trustpilot things where you see the corner, it says, Kim G just popped or just bought, Jamie J just bought, etc. It's that kind of thing, but it's testimonials. So really, really effective for social proof on a sales page. So I wanted to make this so that my community members got it for free because they're valued members of mine. So we were able to get that done. Let me see what else. Yeah, that was the video library that I showed you. So we got that out this week. And the legal pages, the privacy policy and terms of use pages. So those were 3 big drops in the community just this week alone because I have the help of AI. So that's it, 46 hours saved this week. Now, listen, I wouldn't have gotten half of these things done had I not been able to have AI and use AI and have trained AI. I'm so grateful to have this because as a solopreneur, I am not interested in hiring a huge team. I had 28 team members at one point, and I fire them all because I don't want to be a manager. I don't want to have that be my day to day. And so I like to keep my team small. I have 1 casual contractor and me, and I like it that way. I don't want to learn to be a good leader, learn to be a good manager. It's not what I'm interested in doing. I like the work. I like the clients. I love my students. So that's what I want to be able to focus on. So again, if you're interested in sort of dipping your feet into this pool of how can I actually start automating things in my business, click on the link below. It's the free AI opportunity scorecard, no email required, and it will give you a sense of like where you're doing well, where you could potentially use some help in regards to automation. So that's it for today's experiment. I'd love to hear your comments, what you thought, if it inspired you to think outside the box of what you're doing with AI, and whether you'd like to see me continue or not. Make sure you subscribe if you'd like to get notifications when I release new experiments or videos. Until then.